So I somewhat recently did a Guess the Team on offense, and as promised, here is the defensive version of that. It's Guess the Team, and as you can see, certain positions, certain players, we cannot see their college to make it even more difficult. So not only is it not offense, which is just typically easier, defense is harder, and on top of that, we can't see certain positions. Now, we do know what formation it is, so that makes it a little bit easier on defense. We know if it's a 3-4 team or a 4-3 team, but I don't think that I'm going to get all of these right. Now, I won't say whether I did or not on the offense version. You're going to have to check that out on the channel, recently uploaded. Should also be in the same playlist as this one. But we'll go ahead and start with Guess the Team and see if we can do it. So, inside linebackers, I think are going to be the giveaway here. I think we have Utah State. That's, I think, going to be Bobby Wagner. I don't know how many Utah State linebackers there are in the league, but not many. And the South Carolina Gamecock inside linebacker, I think, is going to be Ernest Jones, who was quite good for the Rams last season, but now we have to match that up. Free safety, I think, is Ohio State. Washington strong safety, I think, would be Taylor Rapp. The Georgia weak side linebacker would be Leonard Floyd. And then nose tackle, of course, is going to be Washington. So they're covering up right defensive end, which is going to be Pitt for Aaron Donald. I think Shirley. And they're covering up the corner, which would be Florida State. So surely this is the LA Rams. And it is the LA Rams. And as you can see, Pitt and Florida State are now uncovered. So this was, I think it had potential to be a little bit more difficult, especially covering up the obvious ones, which, you know, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald. But this one was definitely gettable because of the inside linebackers, because Utah State is so rare, I would say. The only other Utah State player I can name right now, and this is just thinking about it quickly, is Darwin Thompson, the running back, was on the Chiefs. I'm not sure if he still is or where he is now, but I remember him coming out, and I remember him getting drafted by KC. But this video is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. But I've been enjoying this a lot lately, and I wish a lot of you guys would come play with me because there are ways to play with you guys. So not only do you have this massive tournament, over 100,000 entrants already, $500,000 in prizes with $75K to first place, and it's their best ball game mode. They also have another massive tournament, Best Ball Mania 3, with 10 million in prizes. And it's basically fantasy football, right? We'll enter this 30 seconds per pick, and it doesn't take very long to fill up. Once the draft fills up, you just go through and you draft who you want, and then you don't have to manage anything. They'll take care of it for you week by week, so that's really cool. So the draft is flying through, and you only have 30 seconds per pick. I pick in 7 spots, and as you can see, kind of the usual suspects you'd expect to see going at the very top of a fantasy draft. Jonathan Taylor, Christian McCaffrey if he stays healthy, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase. So we'll have a very interesting decision about what we want to do with our first pick. I think I'd be pretty happy with taking Najee Harris. The Steelers love to run the ball. New quarterback in there. Offensive line is improved. I would expect that their offensive line is going to play significantly better this year. So if Najee's available, I think I'll go with him, but he might not be. If Najee's not available, I think I'd be pretty happy with Devontae Adams. Got that Derek Carr Fresno State connection, built-in chemistry, so I think that could be really good too. And the cool thing about the star function as well is if I'm not even here, it doesn't matter. I can add them to my queue, and then I can just leave, and they will draft the players in order of the queue, so I don't even really have to be here. Najee's still on the board, though. All it takes is this guy passing on him, and he will be mine. But he takes Najee Harris at 10. So I will take Devontae Adams at 11. And now we're tasked with a tough decision with my next pick. Joe Mixon wouldn't be bad. Alvin Kamara if he plays. Saquon if he comes back to being healthy. I think I would be pretty happy with Nick Chubb, though. If he stays healthy, I think he's like one of the best backs, if not the best running back in the league. So I'm going to take Nick Chubb. Maybe higher than others would, but he's probably not going to be available by my next pick. So if I want him, I got to take him. So I've added a bunch of players to my queue that I think could end up being really, really good. Kind of did it by position. So this isn't my exact order, but I can change the order if I want to. That's a feature they have. And there goes Jalen Waddle, my guy. Just one pick before I could take him. That's extremely frustrating. I think I just want to land a superstar quarterback, and I will draft Patrick Mahomes. Scary Terry. Let's go Terry McLaurin. And let's just say I had somewhere to be. I can go ahead and turn autopilot on And it will take all of my picks from the queue, and I can rearrange this to whatever order I please. Let's say I want Kenneth Walker above Michael Thomas. Maybe I want Brandon Cooks off it. I could unstar him and he'd be gone. But I also really like Pick'em. So, of course, they're going to have this when NFL season is back. But every day before the games, they're going to have over-unders. So, this is soccer, for example. With Cristiano Ronaldo, maybe I think he's going to attempt over 4 shots. I'll hit the over, and then that'll be locked in. And the more of these you do, the bigger the payout multiplier becomes. And you just take either the over or the under, and that multiplier will grow all the way to 20 times. So if you put in $5, bang, you could win 50. But I don't know anything about soccer, so I'm going to go ahead and not submit that. You know what? It's $5. For the ad read, for the video, I'll give it a shot. But the cool thing is, for each slate, like each time period of games, I can create a draft with you guys. Hit create private draft. It'll cost maybe $3 for this one, and then all of you guys can join in and draft with me. But please click the link in the description, go to underdogfantasy.com, or download the Underdog app. And it's super important to use code BENGAL for that deposit match up to $100. That is code BENGAL on underdogfantasy.com and the Underdog Fantasy app. Code BENGAL when you sign up, and they'll deposit match up to $100. And yes, you guessed it, that is with code BENGAL. Team 2, only one position covered up. It's the left corner. We have a Texas nose tackle. So already I got the gears turning. Hook 'em horns, you know, my team. I'm thinking about who that could be. I see an LSU linebacker. I'm thinking that's probably Taquan Graham and Deion Jones. Right defensive end of Clemson would be Grady Jarrett. Auburn left defensive end would be Marlon Davidson. I think this is going to be the Falcons. Now, the corner they'd be covering up is Clemson, A.J. Terrell, surely. James Madison, strong safety. And I don't know the free safety either. Cal U. I don't know what that is. But can I confirm that this is the Falcons? The Falcons are just so not good right now that it's really tough to determine like who exactly they even have. I didn't check depth charts before doing this video. That probably would have been a good idea. Who is the Georgia outside linebacker on the Falcons? I mean, the only guy I can think of is Michael Walker, who went to Fresno State, who's not pictured here. Am I being tricked? The entire front really matches up, though. I think it's got to be the Falcons, right? I don't really know the Falcons' whole team off the top of my head, unfortunately. Like, the safeties, I'm a little bit perplexed about. But I think I'm going to lock in the Falcons as my final guess because of Deion Jones, who I think is going to be Taquan Graham, Marlon Davidson, and Grady Jarrett. And it is the Atlanta Falcons. Did cover up A.J. Terrell. Now, I need to see this depth chart. Oh, that's right. They brought in Rashaan Evans. Lorenzo Carter, I forgot about. He's still on the Giants in my head, even though I know he's not on the team anymore. Arnold Ebiketie listed as a starter. So that makes sense at both linebacker spots. But I kind of forgot about that. And then at free safety, we have Eric Harris and Dean Marlowe. Eric Harris went to just California of Pennsylvania. Wow. Was not coming up with that. Never seen that logo before. And then Vandy's, I guess Casey Hayward. That was a difficult one, kind of. We definitely could have been tripped up on that. And I kind of was. But yeah, Taquan Graham and Deion Jones I kind of got. And then we got the rest of the D-line. It's easy for me when I have Texas there because I know a lot of the Texas players in the league. But I guess I kind of know a lot of the players in the league. Next team, we have a Ragin' Cajun free safety. Who went to Louisiana? It's a 4-3 team. Am I covering anything up? I am. I'm covering up a Penn State corner. So we have a 4-3 team with an LSU defensive tackle. Neil Farrell came to mind with the Bengals just because he was in this last draft class, but that does not mean that's who that is. Could this be the Bengals? No. We would see a Wyoming linebacker. 2 Florida linebackers. Alex Anzalone is Florida. I actually don't even know where he plays right now. NC State defensive tackle. If that's BJ Hill, this could be the Bengals, right? No, we would still see a Wyoming linebacker. It just happens to match up. Okay. I got to get past the Bengals. Could this be the Lions? Aleem McNeil, left defensive tackle. Jared Davis, is he still starter Purdue linebacker would fit. We would have the corners fitting as well with Amani Warawarie and Jeff Okuda, Penn State and Ohio State. Purdue is Derek Barnes. Now, I would expect the defensive tackle to look different. I guess in my head, it's Levi Onwuzurike, who went to Washington. And I don't know what the status of Jared Davis is now. Who would they be covering up at strong safety? And I know the free safety. Did he go to Louisiana Lafayette? I don't want to just lock in Lions. There's some stuff that I think fits. And Notre Dame would fit too with Romeo or even Julian Okwara. I think I'm gonna go Lions. It is the Detroit Lions. So this one definitely could have tripped me up. We'll look at the depth chart. Texas strong safety. Oh man. And Michigan right defensive end. So Tracy Walker, I guess, must have gone to Louisiana. I didn't know that. And then Deshaun Elliott, Hook'em Horns, signed with the Detroit Lions. They have Alex Anzalone. So there's Jared Davis and Anzalone. Aiden Hutchinson is the Michigan defensive end. And they've got Michael Brockers. I kind of always forget that he's there. So that was kind of a difficult one in some ways. But I'm glad we figured it out. Next, guess the team. A couple of question marks here. Let me just make sure nothing's being covered up. Left corner. UAB. UAB corner. I have no idea. Let's look at the D-line. UTEP, Ohio State, and UConn. What is this? UTEP. I immediately thought, oh no, Marcus Davenport was UTSA. It is a 3-4 defense. Wyoming free safety. See, I was thinking maybe with a UConn left defensive end, they'd be thinking it's Travis Jones or something. It's not the Ravens. It's not the Saints. What about the linebackers? A Utah inside linebacker. And what is a Y? Yale? I'm a little bit lost here. What is this? UCF corner, Mike Hughes. But I don't think it's the Chiefs, which is where he is now, and he wouldn't be a starter. Who is a UCF corner? Tay Gowan, but he wouldn't be listed as a starter. I don't know a Wyoming free safety. I really don't. Could this be the Jaguars? With Devin Lloyd listed at linebacker. They would be a 3-4. It would make sense that Kentucky would be covered up. Who are the corners on the Jaguars right now? No Tyson Campbell, Georgia. UCF would be Shaquille Griffin, though. Who is the UAB corner? I think this could be the Jaguars, though. And, oh, you know what? I think Foyesade Oluokun went to Yale or somewhere. I think so. Who are the safeties on the Jags? Andrew Wingard. Does he start? I hope not. They signed Rayshawn Jenkins from the Chargers. Could he be Miami? I think I'm going to lock in the Jags here. I guess they're covering up Kentucky for Josh Allen. And then their defensive line, they do have an Ohio State nose tackle. That's Devon Hamilton. I think I'm good with the Jaguars here. And it is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kind of tough. Georgia, of course, is the #1 overall pick, Trayvon Walker. This was a challenge. I like this one. The trick with these is you have to think of the rookies. Oh, that's right. They brought in Folorenzi Fatukasi. Roy Robertson Harris is listed as a starter. There's Foye Oluokun. Did go to Yale. I don't know why that didn't stick out right away. Darius Williams went to UAB. Didn't know that. Don't watch a ton of UAB football. I have recently when I do my my scouting with the All-22. I've been intrigued by their edge rushers. One of them actually plays on this team. It is outside linebacker Jordan Smith. And they had another one that was drafted, Alex Wright, this year. Who drafted Alex Wright? I want to say it was the Browns. That's not who I want, but I see Alex Wright press conference, Cleveland Browns, so we are right, but there's also this guy. And they do have Rayshawn Jenkins and Andrew Wingard. Andre Sisco, in my head, is the starter, but I forgot that they got Darius Williams. See, some of these rosters change so much. Ooh, Xavier Crawford from Central Michigan by way of Oregon State. Why do I know that? Couldn't tell you. You know, it's funny. I know that about Xavier Crawford, but sometimes like an obvious one will completely like go right over my head. So only one is covered up here. It's the left corner. There's a lot going on here. This gives it away right here. So we have a team. We have a weird college emblem, which I think is South Carolina State. I think it's Darius Leonard. Now we have another one where I have no idea what that is. And that's going to be where Grover Stewart went, which I guess we'll find out. Oregon's going to be DeForest Buckner. We got Bobby Okereke at middle linebacker. Syracuse is somebody probably. And then the corners, what are they covering up? Which corner? I mean, is this the Colts? I think it has to be. Just off of those two guys. But I'm looking at safety. And I know that Kari Willis just retired, Kari Willis, but I expected to see like Julian Blackman, who did not go to Virginia or Maryland. Virginia free safety, you know, I immediately think of Juan Thornhill, but I guess their safeties could change because Tyrann Matthews not there anymore. But no, we would see Stanford because Justin Reed signed there. I'm going to go Colts here. The linebackers match up. Spot on the defensive line. I'm kind of forgetting some of this team, to be honest, but I think it's the Colts. And it is the Indianapolis Colts. Is this Valdosta State? Oh my God, it's got to be, because that's Kenny Moore. Okay, so Kwity Paye is on this team. That's right. Yannick Ngakwe's Maryland. I kind of forget that he's on the Colts now. Just got traded. And Grover Stewart is Albany State. I have never seen that before, but Albany State, didn't know that. Zaire Franklin out of Syracuse. Don't really know him. They brought in Stephon Gilmore. That's right. This is why this defense looks so bizarre, because it's so much is kind of new. Ngakwe, I mean, Zaire Franklin could not have been a starter with those numbers last season. Nick Cross just got drafted. Rodney McLeod is starting over Julian Blackman, I guess. That surely cannot be the case, that Rodney McLeod's going to start over him. I just don't really believe that. I mean, I guess it could be true. I know Julian Blackman is not the player that he was as a rookie, because he was so sick as a rookie and then kind of like was injured, didn't play much, took a step back maybe. But yeah, this team is just so different. All right, next team. UCLA inside linebacker. The other inside linebacker's covered up. This corner is also hidden. On the defensive line, we have Pitt, we have Alabama, and we have Stanford. Linebackers are Kentucky and LSU. 3-4 rush linebacker from Kentucky. Well, I was thinking, just of edge rushers from Kentucky. Josh Pascal from Kentucky's on the Lions, so it can't be him. We have the Lions. Josh Allen from the Jags is on the Jags, so it can't be him. Notre Dame strong safety. Oh, I know who it is. I know what this team is. Okay. Notre Dame strong safety is Harrison Smith. Georgia free safety is Lewis Seen, who just got drafted. The only other Notre Dame strong safety that I can think of in the league right now is Kyle Hamilton from this past draft class, who's going to play for the Ravens, which we know it's not because the free safety is not Utah for Marcus Williams. So this must be the Minnesota Vikings. LSU weak side linebacker is going to be Daniel Hunter. 3-4 rush linebacker. And then Pitt, we have Jalen Twyman. We have Dalvin Tomlinson. Yeah, this is the Minnesota Vikings. And it is. And Texas inside linebacker covered up. Okay, I see you. Yeah, they know I'm a Texas fan, so that can kind of reveal some of those. So, all right. Harrison Phillips starts now. It is Dalvin Tomlinson, Jalen Twyman. Zadarius Smith was the Kentucky linebacker. I just kind of forget that he's Kentucky sometimes. That's a fair play. Of course, Jordan Hicks, Hook'em Horns. Eric Kendricks is the UCLA linebacker. I mean, it would have been a short list to get to him for sure. But, yeah, we got that. Zadarius Smith. Patrick Peterson, LSU corner. And we have Cam Dantzler. All right, next guess the team. Free safety is hidden. I already think I know the team. All right, Michigan lines up. Louisiana Tech lines up. That's how I think I know it. Strong safety lines up. I think the hidden free safety will be Virginia. Talked about that a little bit earlier. Now their linebackers, Mizzou matches up. Not very many Mizzou guys in the league that start. Maryland matches up. Yep. Yeah, so and Washington also matches up. And Purdue matches up. They just drafted him. This, without question to me, is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, there are some guys that you'd expect to see, obviously, with Nick Bolton, L'Jarius Sneed, Justin Reed now on the team, George Karlaftis, Chris Jones, Mississippi State, and then, of course, Frank Clark as well. This is absolutely the Chiefs. I don't think it could be anybody else. And it is the Chiefs. There's the Virginia safety we talked about. And I was thinking about L'Jarius Sneed earlier for one of the options. It wasn't Louisiana Tech, but it was, I mean, we can just go back. I think I was thinking about it for this team with the UAB and Mike Hughes, but I'm like, yeah. So I thought of L'Jarius Sneed, Louisiana Tech, but that's how I knew this was not the Chiefs for sure. I guess I've already said it's the Chiefs. I mean, it has to be, right? Oh, we already looked at it. That's right. Yeah, there you go. So Derek Nottie, Jermaine Carter Jr. This is the Maryland linebacker, but to be honest, I didn't really expect to see him in the starting role. Willie Gay, of course, would be there. And then we have the usual suspects in the secondary and, of course, first-round pick Trent McDuffie, who I think is just going to be so good. I am all aboard the Trent McDuffie train. All right, we have 3 to go. We have a Houston corner, a Virginia Tech corner. What am I looking at here? Memphis free safety, Arkansas strong safety. Now, I thought Patriots right away because of Houston. I thought of Marcus Jones, who was recently drafted. Is anything else matching up with that? It really isn't, because I'd expect to see Alabama with Dante Hightower. Don't see it. The defensive tackles are both hidden. It's a little bizarre. We have a UNC weak side linebacker, a Texas State Bobcats strong side linebacker, Arkansas safety, Cam Curl. Yeah. That's exactly what this is. Jamin Davis, Cam Curl. Who are their corners? I mean, Virginia Tech should be Kendall Fuller, right? Who's a Houston corner for them? I actually don't know. Oh, it's William Jackson. That's exactly who that is. And then we have Chase Young. And then the Alabama defensive tackles are certainly both hidden with Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne. And Mississippi State, I mean, just further solidifies that this is Washington. This is the Commanders. But I got it from Cameron Curl. The only Arkansas safety that is in the NFL right now that I can think of. The only other name that popped in my head was Jalen Catalon, who is not yet declared, currently at Arkansas playing college football. Kind of a cool prospect. Yes, it is the Washington Commanders. The 2 Alabama defensive tackles surely would have given it away right away. Free safety Bobby McCain from Memphis. I still kind of think of him as a corner in my head, but it is Kendall Fuller, William Jackson, Cole Holcomb, Montez Sweat. I mean, we knew Montez Sweat for sure. David Mayo listed as a starter. That's rough. Don't really want that. All right, second to last one, I believe. Free safety and outside linebacker are hidden. Virginia Tech strong safety. Now, UCLA linebacker that isn't Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr. Now, I don't know what team Anthony Barr would be on. Let's go to the defensive, or let's go to the corners. Colorado corner. How do I not know that? Colorado corner. Oh, Chidobe Awuzie. Alabama corner. Who would that be? Can I get Bengals with this one? I think it's the Bengals. I'm not sure. I would expect to see Eli Apple, Ohio State. We don't see that. Free safety's covered up. I would guess that would be Wake Forest for Jesse Bates. Which I guess that would be covered up for good reason. It would make it too obvious. And then weak side linebacker, I would say, would be Wyoming. But he's not a rush linebacker. That's a 4-3 team, surely, right? I don't think it is the Bengals. I don't. I think there's just some stuff that lines up because they're not a 4-3 team. So surely not. This is a 3-4. But there's a lot of stuff that matches up with the Bengals. Charlotte outside linebacker. Ah, I know what team this is. Okay. Took me long enough. But the Charlotte has given it away. Because there are very few players out of Charlotte in the league. There's the beast out of Charlotte, Larry Ogunjobi. There is Nate Davis, the right guard for the Titans. And there's this guy. And there's probably a couple more, right? But I think that's Alex Highsmith. The Michigan inside linebacker is going to be not Devin Lloyd. Don't say Devin Lloyd. Devin Bush. This linebacker surely would be Wisconsin for TJ Watt. Free safety is Minka Fitzpatrick. It would be Alabama. Virginia Tech is Terrell Edmonds. Alabama corner is Levi Wallace. And then we have Cam Hayward. Yeah, this is the Steelers. And there it is, Pittsburgh Steelers. There's Wisconsin. There's Alabama, as we expected to see. Tyson Alualu. Chris Wormley is a starter out of Michigan. Okay, that makes sense. TJ Watt, Devin Bush, Miles Jack. That's right, Miles Jack is on this team now. Akella Witherspoon, we know. Yeah. Alex Highsmith, thank you very much for giving it away. I was struggling there for a minute. And this is the last one. 2 linebackers are covered up. The outside corner is Utah. Houston sub linebacker. I thought I knew who this team was right away because of Houston. It's not, though. I thought this might have been the Ravens. I like how the Penn State logo is just kind of in the bottom left corner of the box there. I thought this was the Ravens. I thought Tyus Bowser, but there's another Houston linebacker in the NFL that apparently starts. Let's think who the secondary could be. Penn State and Alabama. Who is an Alabama starting free safety that we haven't seen already? It's a bizarre team. Kansas State outside corner and Utah outside corner. We have NC State on the D-line, BYU. I mean, NC State, again, I just think of BJ Hill. Is this the Bengals? It still is not. Whistler time, though. Well, I think about this. I don't know if this is super obvious, but I am struggling. I'm trying to go across this defensive line, and I just cannot think of anything that matches up cleanly. Like the corners. I mean, the everything is confusing me right now. A Kansas State and a Utah corner. Like, Utah corners are so few and far between, I feel like. Maybe I'm forgetting some. Javelin Guidry is the name in my head. But surely he does not start. Like, it can't be the Jets. We would see Bryce Hall, who's not here. I'm just going to go through and think of the teams it can't be. And then see who my remaining options are. A lot of time when I do these quizzes, I try to go so rapid fire and talk through everything, which puts me on like a timer and a clock that doesn't exist, and I never end up thinking about it. So I'm just going to think about who it can't be, think about the options it could be, and then who matches up. Like, I don't think it can be anybody in the NFC East. I don't think it could be. It certainly cannot be the Bills, Patriots, or Dolphins. I don't think it can be the Jets either, so I'm going to cross off the AFC East. It could be the Bears. Because Utah corner Jalen Johnson, who I forgot about when I was thinking about Utah corners. Could this be the Bears? Oh, it is. Alabama safeties Eddie Jackson. Oh, my goodness. They're covering up Georgia inside linebacker Roquan Smith. This is the Bears without Khalil Mack. Oh, my goodness. Has to be. And it is the Chicago Bears. Man, I was struggling on that for a minute. What school is this? See, you know, what's so funny is when I was thinking of BYU defensive tackles, I thought of Kairos Tonga just because he was a player I liked in the draft quite a bit and ended up being a super late round pick. And I go, oh, no shot, he's starting. So I completely didn't even mention him. I think a couple things. Like, one, with Robert Quinn, it's easy to forget that he's a defensive end now because the defense has changed. But yeah, he's UNC. I mean, Al-Qadim Muhammad, I'll be honest with you, didn't know he was on the Bears now. Justin Jones, did not know he was on the Bears now. That's part of what made this so difficult. Matthew Adams is Houston. He had 8 tackles for the Colts last year, 8 solo tackles. Didn't know he was on the Bears or who he was. I mean, Nicholas Morrow doesn't even have a listed college. He went to Greenville University. Greenville. That sounds like a community college. So they have Duke Shelley as a starter. Jaquan Brisker just got drafted. I couldn't think of a Penn State safety, and he was just in the last draft class. But Duke Shelley from K-State is a starting corner for them. There you go. So that's going to do it for Guess the Team. We got all of them. Some of them were a lot more difficult than others, which is, I mean, I guess that it was a good mix. But man, this Bears one was a challenge for a minute, because their entire defensive line is not what you'd expect other than Robert Quinn, I guess, but they're a 4-3 now. And the outside linebackers, I mean, you got to be kidding me. This Bears team, dude, it's not looking great. But new GM Ryan Poles is trying to reset things, and you got to respect that. A rebuild's a rebuild. You got your quarterback to build around. They should focus on offense first, protect Justin Fields and get him weapons, and then focus on the defense. I know it seems crazy to do it like that, but the defense can afford to be bad, but you just can't have Justin Fields get completely destroyed by a terrible O-line and confidence killed from a lack of weapons. You lost Allen Robinson. Darnell Mooney's good, but Darnell Mooney's like all you have right now. So, yeah, good luck to the Bears, man. It really does not look good. Like, checking out this defense, it looks not great. You do have Kyler Gordon, I think could eventually become a starter, but that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Take it easy.